This version of sleep sessions is designed to be 60 minutes long. I won't teach it in real time, but I will let you know how long the hold should be and the information that we should give the students, plus when to leave silent. This version is a stripped back version and has a 25-minute nidra at the end. I'm going to teach this class as if it's the evening, assuming that the students are going to go home and that it won't be long until their bedtime. So the students can come down to their backs, hands can be on the belly or the hips, elbows out, or if they prefer, hands can be at the side. Knees can knock together here at the feet to the wide edges. And just let them settle for a few moments, observing the breath. You can close the eyes if they want. Getting them to notice the gentle rise and fall of the belly and the contact of the floor as it rises up to support the body. So from here, we'll come into a gentle twist, windscreen wipers. So we'll take the hands to the side a bit wider. So we've got space to take the feet a bit wider and open up the knees slightly. A breath in. On the breath out, they'll come onto the edges of the feet and the knees come slightly to the side. The inhale, the feet come back to center. The exhale, the knees over towards the other side, coming onto the blade edges of the feet. And you'll notice that my knees aren't going all the way down to the floor. Some people can do that, but this one is more about feeling that gentle twist in the low back. And after all, we're warming up, so we don't want to take it too far. So breathing into center, exhale over to the side, and the head could go the opposite way to where the knees are going. So maybe 3 each side of those. Then gathering the right knee in for Pavanmuktasana, wind relieving pose. You'll have taught this potentially in other Hotpod classes. So breathing in here as the breath out leaves the body, there's a hugging in sensation of the right leg in towards the tummy, a massaging of the organs, and there's a sensation around the crease of the right hip, a compression there, shoulders stay in the center. 3 or 4 breaths, change, other side. And as they hug the left knee in towards the shoulder, the right heel scrubs forwards, the opposite heel moves away. And releasing after that. Feet flat, drawing both the knees in, then taking happy baby, knees wide, feet upwards, and they can either wrap the edges of the feet, they can go for the big toes, edges of feet if they've got socks on, and they might like to go side to side here. Full body stretch after that. So they can breathe in. This might make them yawn or sigh, that's fine. And as the exhale, feet can come flat and the knees can gently draw in. And for the first couple of times, you might get them to just do knees in and they can come back to that full body and the breath in, the exhale. Once they've done that a couple of times, they could even come into like a little ball here, a little crunch, just to feel into the abdominals just for a sec, inhale. And playing with those opposites of really, really long and really small. This pose is a folded forwards pose on a bolster with a twist. It is a version of Ardha Mukha Jathara Parivartanasana. It complements a back bend really well, and it also works as a standalone restorative moment, say if you started the class lying down. So for this restorative twist, we'll get the students to place the bolster in front of them on the mat, and we'll do the right side first. Have a rolled towel ready for the students to put in between the thighs, and this helps to take the pressure off the nearby joints. So I'll now ask Catherine to come up against the bolster facing the entrance of the pod and slide your right hip so it's touching the bolster, that's it. And the knees can point towards the entrance of the pod, slightly separated. And when you're ready, laying down the torso on the bolster. It makes sense here to turn the head the same direction as the knees for more comfort. Once the class is settled, you can invite them to take the rolled blanket or towel and put it in between the thighs. So Catherine, if you'd like to That's it, separate the knees, pop it in between so that it's comfortable. Great. And any adjustments you want to make to get even more comfy, go for it. We'll hold the class, ideally, in this pose for 5 minutes on each side. On the first side, you might introduce the concept of folding forwards and asking the class to notice the difference in sensations between folding forwards and where they might have been before lying back, so that we're continuing to encourage that awareness of their inner experience. Now, if this pose doesn't suit some people, if they experience knee, lower back, hip or shoulder pain here, you could offer them the Pavanmuktasana and the reclined twist on a bolster version instead. So once the time is up, you can encourage the students to move slowly, and they can push down with their arm strength to slowly come out of the pose. And they're walking the hands back to support, and they're coming up. They can remove the towel. And then take a moment, Catherine, here to turn towards the bolster, but in child's pose. So you can come into all fours for a sec and come into child's pose with the knees wider than the hips. That's it. And coming down onto the bolster. And the students can either rest their head on the bolster like so, or if they wanted to draw the bolster a bit closer in and rest the head and the chest and a part of the belly on the bolster, they can. So it's completely up to them. And leave them here for about a minute as the space in between the two sides. On the second side, you can tell the class about the anatomy of the pose. So we can tell them that it's a gentle rotation of the spine. It's a mix of effort and release of the obliques and the transversus abdominis muscles, and also other muscles in the back and sides that are supporting breathing. This pose will promote easeful breathing. And it also supports digestion and encourages a sense of protectedness as the front of the body is downwards facing. After the second side, the students can slowly come out from this pose, same as from the first side, using the arm strength to push the ground away, padding the hands back, moving slow. So Catherine has just completed her second side of folded twist on a bolster, and she's come back to the middle to be in child's pose with the bolster. And just make sure that the student has turned their head in one direction for the first time they do this child's pose, and then in the other direction. So we'll hold them here for about a minute after the second side, and then after that minute is up, Catherine can start to slowly push her hands against the floor to get herself up to a seat. Starting to come away from the bolster, walking the hands towards the legs, no rush, to come up for a moment. And Catherine can move the bolster out the way, pop it to the side. And as a counter pose, I'll ask Catherine to come onto her belly, lying on her front. Feet can be a bit wider than the hips. The hands can layer one on top of the other. She can rest the forehead on the back of the hand. And you can keep the students here for maybe a minute or so, just as a really nice neutralizer for the spine, a counter pose after the twist on the bolster. Encourage a sense of breath through the back of the body, an easeful breath. And if the students prefer, they can take the head one side or to the other side, or they can keep the head in the middle. Yeah, there can even be a massage of a side to side. And after that minute is up, Catherine can slowly start to place the hands more so underneath the shoulders with the elbows bent, and press slowly back into child's pose from here. Adjusting with knees wide and arms forwards exactly. And just having maybe 30 seconds or so here in regular child's pose without any props. And then you can invite the class to walk the hands back towards the thighs, unfurling the spine slowly. And eventually they'll be sat upright, no rush to get there, ready for the next part of class. This is a restorative shoulder stand, Viparita Karani, and we'll use the bolster. We'll start from a lying down position. They might be here or they might be here. And we'll get the students to press against the floor to raise the hips, almost like a bridge, sliding the bolster underneath. And what's really important for this one is that the bolster's in the right position. So the back of the pelvis, the sacrum area is on the bolster, but a bit of the buttock flesh is sort of coming off the other side. What you see a lot of the time in classes is people putting the bolster too much this way and they end up like this, which is not the aim of the pose. So we get them to place the bolster in that right position. It should feel comfortable so that they can raise the legs up and they've got the bolster in the right place. And even now I'm like, right, I need to move it slightly back. So they can change if they need to. They can bring the feet down as many times as they like. Arms can be wide. And they're here for 2 to 3 minutes. So the students are in position. Some people will have straight legs and other people will find this hard on the hamstrings and they'll need to have a bit of a bend in the knees, and that's fine. Arms can be wide horizontally, or they can have a bend, a cactus in the elbows, or the arms can even be overhead, wrapping the elbows. They can change position with the arms as much as they like. There is some effort in the legs in this pose. I think sometimes people assume that it'll be effortless, but if you let them know that they are using the muscles in the abdomen, slightly here, and the legs to hold the shape, and it's a relatively short hold, then you've managed their expectations with that. If this pose doesn't feel right for people for whatever reason, you can offer them a supported bridge, Setu Bandha Shavasana. Now, the bolster can stay exactly where it is, but what I would offer Catherine here, say if it wasn't working for her for whatever reason, is feet coming down towards the mat. So the feet could be to the wide edges and the knees knocking together, but if that didn't feel comfortable with the knees together like this, we would offer the student an option of a strap, and they can basically arrange this. It could be in a loop, and they could pull it tight enough so that instead of having an effort of drawing the knees together, the knees could be slightly apart and the legs could sort of let go into the strap for ease as an option. So scientific points of interest for this pose. This pose assists venous return and lymphatic drainage as the legs are lifted. And this means that the muscles of the body are being delivered the oxygen that they need, and it helps to release waste and toxins from the body's tissues. It takes vertical weight off the spine and creates space in the upper half of the abdomen, opens the chest and helps with breathing. Releases tension in the neck and just feels good to change it up, legs are up for a change here. So the interesting things here about Setu Bandha Shavasana is that anatomically speaking, we're opening up the front of the chest, opening up the upper body. This pose takes vertical weight off the spine and is restful for the heart as the blood doesn't have to pump against gravity. And if the student was using a strap, it supports the legs so it's less effortful. So after the 3 minutes are up, if the students are in, most of them will be in this Viparita Karani, you can get them to take the feet back down to the floor, have a moment here in this supported bridge, and then pressing the feet down into the mat, raise the hips slightly away from the bolster and sliding the bolster down under the knees, ready for Yoga Nidra. Yes, perfect. So it's there, it's not far to go, and it's there ready for the practice of Yoga Nidra. prepare yourself for the practice of Yoga Nidra. Get as comfortable as possible. Adjust props if needs be, and make any movements that you need to. All movements are welcome. Feel free to wriggle, yawn, sigh, to give the body a signal that it can get even more comfortable. And please know that you can change the position of the body if you wish. Just move slowly and mindfully if you do. All noises are welcome in this practice. Feel free to cough, sneeze, yawn, snore. All noises are welcome. All of you is welcome exactly as you are in this practice of Yoga Nidra. From Sanskrit to English, Nidra translates to sleep. And the intention of this practice is to allow the body to rest into a state of being that is effortless. During the practice, it is likely that you might feel sleepy, and that is okay. The benefits of this practice include having a clearer mind, enhanced memory recall. It helps to support effective digestion, enhances concentration, and elevates mood. Spend a few moments now saying quietly within, I am practicing Yoga Nidra. I am practicing Yoga Nidra. I am practicing Yoga Nidra. Feel free to follow the sound of my voice, as it can be a guide for the practice of Yoga Nidra. It can be helpful to know that as I talk you through the guided tour of the body, the direction of your attention can shift from the external to the internal, and therefore helping to relax the body and the mind. Perhaps it is the practice of turning the awareness inwards to the internal landscape of the body. It is completely fine for you to drift in and out of wakefulness. There may be times where you notice the sound of my voice, and you might not pick up on the detail of the words. Perhaps you might find yourself drifting in and out of a sleep state, or the person next to you might drift in and out of a sleep state, and that is okay. As you settle the body here, notice the sensations, the surface underneath the body, the feeling of the mat, the towel, the props placed against the body. And if it's interesting, in your mind, you can imagine the layers that are rising up to meet the foundation of the building, the earth underneath the building. And as part of this visualization, those layers could be holding the body up. The layers are as deep or as shallow as you would like. And perhaps take another yawn, notice the saliva in the mouth, and relax the root of the tongue as best as you can. Notice, even with the eyes closed, the atmosphere of the pod, the low lighting, the warmth. Become aware of the breath and how it is coming in and out of the nose. You could let the attention follow the texture of the breath. And perhaps the temperature differs between the inhale and the exhale. The inhale has a slight coolness compared to the exhale, which has more of a warmth. Take a moment to remember that you are here in the pod, supported here by the props, cozy and rested, ready for the practice of Yoga Nidra. This is the moment in which there could be an intention for the practice or a resolution. Feel free to listen and add it to your practice, or if you'd rather, you can rest and create your own. And perhaps the resolution here is to allow the body to rest. I allow the body to rest. I allow my body to rest. Repeat that 3 times within if you're happy with the sankalpa, the resolution, or you can let it pass. I will take you through a relaxation where I will name the different parts of the body. Once I've named the part of the body, you are invited to become aware of that part of the body. You might like to imagine that part of the body after it is named. You might see it in your mind's eye. You might feel that part of the body become a little more relaxed. You might repeat the name of that part of the body after hearing it being mentioned. There is no need to do any of these things if you don't feel like it, though. You can simply be and enjoy the experience for what it is. The guided tour of awareness begins. And imagine there is a light of awareness, perhaps a golden or white light, at the right hand thumb. Second finger, third finger, fourth, fifth, palm of the right hand, the wrist, the right elbow, the right shoulder, armpit, right hip, thigh, kneecap, right calf muscle, ankle, heel, sole, the right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and fifth toe. This light of awareness moving to the left hand thumb, the second finger, third finger, fourth and fifth, palm of the left hand, left wrist, elbow, shoulder, left armpit, down to left hip, left thigh, kneecap, calf muscle, ankle, heel, sole, the big toe, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Take your mind to the back of the body, the right shoulder blade, the left shoulder blade, the right side buttock, the left side buttock, the right heel, the left heel. Go to the front of the body, the awareness at the top of the head, the light moving to the forehead, right eye, left eye, middle of the eyebrows, right ear, left ear, right cheek, left cheek, right nostril, left nostril, upper lip, lower lip, both lips together, chin, The right side of the chest, the left side of the chest, the whole of the chest, navel, abdomen. Now the major parts of the body, the right leg, left leg, right arm, left arm, both legs, both arms together, abdomen, chest, the whole of the back, the head, the whole body, the whole body, the whole body, the whole body, and the whole body. If you'd like to come with me on a visual journey, you are welcome to. If you would like to drift off into your own daydream, that is also okay. If you're coming with me, we will begin by taking a walk outside on a winter's day, dressed appropriately in warm clothes. The layers keeping the body warm are the perfect level of warmth and comfort. The body is cozy, whilst at the same time there is a crispness of air against the skin of the face. As you breathe in, there is a freshness to the inhale as it enters the body, and a cloud of exhale is visible in the atmosphere as it leaves the body. The sky is your favourite colour, and the snow beneath the feet is the ideal level of thickness that you like. As you step through the snow, there may be footprints that you can see beneath you. The snow and twigs underfoot have a sound that you find very satisfying. Above you, there are birds perched on the outlines of the winter trees, tweeting their birdsong at the exact volume that you enjoy. Not a leaf to be seen on any of the branches, bare branches. The light of the sky is in contrast to the much darker silhouettes of the trees. There are a few moments now to pause and be still. In these moments, you might notice the surface beneath the feet, feeling grounded here. Layers of earth rising up. And at the same time, you might notice the atmosphere around you and the spaciousness rising up to meet the sky above your head. After this pause, there is a moment of satisfaction that the right amount of walking has been done. The walk has felt refreshing, but now it is time to retreat indoors to a cozy log cabin where it is warm. You open the door and the log fire is ready for you. The whole room is warm and ready for you to rest. You can take some layers off and have a sit down. You can sit in the padded rocking chair near the fireplace if you like, or sit in a different area of the room if you prefer. You can be as far away or as close to the log fire as you wish to be. Once you have chosen your ideal seating arrangement, there can be a moment of inhale, and as you exhale, you might release into the surface beneath a little bit more. Could there be a way of getting even more comfortable in the chosen seat? You have chosen your ideal comfort level, and it is the ideal level of warmth that allows you to relax further. There is a freshly prepared warm drink waiting for you on a little table within arm's reach. Hot steam rises in floaty wisps, curling upwards from the hot liquid. This is your favourite hot drink. The drink might have a familiar scent that is comforting to you. And if you like, you can take a few sips of the drink now to taste it. Or you can leave it where it is if you prefer. During every breath, there is another chance to invite warmth into the body, the coolness and crispness of the outside fading away. Rest and relax here a little bit longer, rocking steadily and slowly in the chair or sitting still, having a few sips of the hot drink or simply sitting. Noticing what it is like to be cozy and warm here. The breath naturally moving in and out of the body. And starting to come back to that resolution that might have resonated with you at the start of the practice, which was to allow the body to rest. Know that by making a decision to be here and rest the body, to participate in this practice of guided relaxation, of Yoga Nidra, you have effectively set up the conditions to allow the body to rest. Rest assured that you have prioritized a more relaxed state of being, away from the daily activities that you participate in. There has been an opportunity to turn the attention inwards to the sensations of the resting body and to give the hard-working mind a chance to feel a little calmer. Taking some time now to draw the awareness back to the present moment, and starting to notice the sensations of the resting body here in the pod. Noticing the texture of the mat beneath the body and the props that are supporting the body. The sensation of the clothes against the skin. Become more attuned to the air around the skin and the warmth of the pod. And even with the eyes closed, you might notice that low lighting, the pinks and purples that are softly illuminating the pod. Notice the breath moving steadily in and out of the nose and becoming more aware of the body and the breath over the next couple of minutes as the practice of Yoga Nidra comes to a close slowly. Breathing now with an intention to lengthen the breath through the nose, as though the inhale is traveling to the edges of the body, tips of the toes, fingertips and top of head. And on the exhale, the breath patiently returns to the center. Inhale to edges, exhale to center. Trying that a few more times, as though you are breathing into the whole of the body, becoming aware of the whole of the body. And perhaps bringing some subtle movements now into fingers and toes, deeper breath, little wiggles, little movements into fingers and toes, a stretch, a sigh or a yawn. If you're lying down flat with the bolster under the knees, you can place the feet to the bolster and roll it to the bottom and slowly come to side lying. And if you're already on your side, you can use the top leg to just push the bolster slightly away from you and draw the knees in towards the tummy. Take a few moments, laying on your side, no rush. Noticing the sound of the pod, the fans, any music you might hear, the saliva in the mouth, Coming back to the sensations of the body, the senses, and starting to push the ground away through the hands, that arm strength, pushing the ground away, slowly coming up to a cross-legged position. Feel free to keep the eyes closed for a few moments here. Hands can rest in the lap or on the knees. Noticing how it feels to sit in this cross-legged position with the ground supporting the pelvis, the legs. Notice the movement of the breath through the nose, that natural breath. And as you sit here for a few moments, coming back to that question of how does it feel to do less? What happened to the body and the mind as they moved into the different stages of relaxation? Noticing the effects of this slower practice. Notice what arose in those different moments. Could this practice of awareness be something that you can take off the mat, perhaps empowering certain decisions that you might make today, tomorrow, or at some point? Could being slower help not only regulate our systems and help us sleep, but also allow space in our minds for us to balance and feel more connected to ourselves and our purpose? Or perhaps you leave the mat knowing that you have dedicated an hour to yourself where you didn't have to do or think about the other stuff. You could simply relax, rest, and be. Maybe it's as simple as that. So I suggest eating and drinking a little something when you can, even if it's something small. A piece of dark chocolate can be really helpful just to stimulate the senses, bring you back into the body after resting. And it can help you to come back into a wakeful feeling, especially if you've got to walk home. And the ideal situation for the rest of the evening is that you have an easeful journey home, and that when the time is right, you will have a restful good night's sleep and wake up fresh tomorrow. Well done, and thank you for coming to Sleep Sessions.